What is he doing? All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. My name is Brandon, and I'm a high school principal from the U.S. state of Georgia. Doing something kind of special today. There are several shows that I just haven't gotten to yet because there's so many recommendations. Please keep them coming, by the way. But this one keeps coming up. This one's called Spy X Family, and I know some people say, okay, it's just Spy Family. You're not supposed to say the X. I don't know. I'm going to say Spy X Family, but let me know in the comments which one is right. I've seen both online, so I'm going to say Spy X Family, but that might be wrong. Never seen this series before at all. I don't really know what to think about it. I know it's kind of popular right now, and many of you have recommended it. Several of you recommended some specific episodes that have school scenes in them, so I'm not going to start with the very first episode. This is actually episode number 4. The title of the episode is The Prestigious Schools Interview. That's about all I know about it. Don't know the characters, don't know anything about it. So I'll be reacting to it for the first time here with you. Just a reminder, if you're enjoying my content and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. This is kind of crazy. Okay, and I'm going to watch the rest of the intro, but I know I've said before on Yu Yu Hakusho that these anime intros are always really, really well done and have a way of sticking with you. So I'll watch the rest of it, but I'm not going to include it in the video. Upset stomach. There it is. Here we go. Here we go. Time has come. Verbal etiquette. All right. So the title of the episode is The Prestigious Schools Interview. And so they're checking their appearances and making sure everything is perfect. Now, I work at a public school, but I have had some experience with private school and other dealings with other private schools. And some of them, and the thing about private schools is they don't exactly have to play by the same rules as far as school governance that public schools do many times. They are often a lot more free to do what they want, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad, depending on the school. And private schools can be very, very different from each other. And importantly, they have a lot more leeway as far as who they accept into their school. So think about it. If you're a public school, you're going to accept whoever lives within your school district or your school attendance zone. You have no choice in the matter. If they can prove that they live there, they're going to be your student. Now, at a private school, they don't have to take them. They don't have to take you at all. And so many of them do have these little interviews, especially the prestigious ones, the ones that are a bit more selective. They can do that, and many times they will have an interview with the family or with the child. I have heard of that before. Eden College? And it says Eden College, and all of these kids are like really small, but there are such a thing as like prep schools. For example, a school that is, elementary or middle or high school, but it's kind of sponsored by a college. It's meant to prepare students either for that school or something similar. This isn't too far-fetched, and I have heard of parents that have children that are this young. I don't know how young she's supposed to be, but she looks really small, where they're planning to get them into the absolute best schools this young. I have heard of that. Now, keep in mind that at a private school, the big difference is you have to pay, right? At a public school, it's free. It's free education. I'm not sure how it works in Japan. Here in the US, of course, everyone's entitled to a free K-12 education, and you can go to a private school, but if you do that, you have to pay whatever the tuition is. Some of them are not that expensive. Some of them are extremely expensive, more than some colleges, believe it or not. It's just way over the top in some cases. I have seen that before. Oh, an enemy. Yeah, and I know this show is Spy Family or Spy X Family. I don't know what the spy aspect of it is, but he's saying someone's watching me. I don't know who it is. There could be an enemy in the crowd. I don't know what he means by that. I guess maybe I'll find out. I don't know how much of this is spies and how much is going to be school, but let's see here. And these kids come up to these adults' waist. So I'm thinking they can't be more than 6 or 7 years old. I mean, they've got to be pretty small to be that short. Really? Okay. Oh, and I don't know if this really exists. I mean, I've seen this in shows and things, but the families and their children are just walking up to the door of the school, and he's saying that the instructors are looking out the window, observing every action that everyone is taking and scoring them. Like, how do you score someone on how they walk up to the building? Is it their posture? Is it their gait? Is it their clothes that they're wearing? I don't know how you make a decision on school admittance based on how they're walking up to the door, but okay, I can tell this is going to be really, really over the top. That's true, then yeah. Practice.
D68 番×。
Oh,
A12 番×。
G114 番丸。
今年の受験生は質が低いな。
wow.
エレガンスに欠けるものばかり。
True elegance. Okay. So you saw there some of these instructors would fail these students, some of them just based on this. I mean, they say, okay, you fail based on what? How you walked up to the door? That is really really over the top. And you see them here. And this guy, I don't know if he's the principal or the president of the school. I don't know what his role is. And he's got a little monocle here, and he's got a little suit with the fancy collar and the vest, saying that these people lack true elegance. So I guess they're trying to portray the most stuck up of the stuck up, arrogant, very conceited, we're better than you kind of atmosphere, I guess, is what they're trying to do. And so far, they're doing a good job of that. Housemaster.
あのそやな足取りで名門イーデンの地を踏まれるだけで不愉快だよ。
And they call him a housemaster. I'm not really sure what that means. That's his English translated title. Let me know in the comments if you know more about that. In the United States, typically the head of a school is called the principal, but at many private schools or private religious schools in particular, they might be called a headmaster. I don't know if that's what they're going for. Housemaster, headmaster, basically does the same job as a principal. I have worked at a private school before as a teacher, and they did call him the headmaster, but I mean, he basically acted as a principal.
エレガンスが伝統を作る。エレガンスこそが人の世を楽園たらしめる。
So fancy.
少しはエレガンス力がありそうなのもいるな。初代学長の像に敬礼だと。
Oh, yeah.
線の顔を使い分けるこの黄昏。相手の望む理想の人物として振る舞うことなど。
この方がどなたかどんと存じ上げませんが、とりあえずロイドさんの真似をしておけば大丈夫ですよね。影チャビ。
エレガント。
Eleganto. Okay, elegant. So he's impressed by them paying homage to the statue of the founder of the school. It's just so ridiculous. So all he cares about is that they're elegant. Oh, they're elegant. They're just so refined and so elegant. And so I want them in our school just because of that. Okay, this is pretty ridiculous, but let's see where this goes here.
ベリーエレガント。あの家族は何者だ。計212番フォージャー一家です。娘アーニャの筆記試験は9大ギリギリの31点です。Not elegant. 字も汚ね。
Yeah, that is pretty awful penmanship. Look at her name there. I don't even see. It looks like Foger said their name was Forger. Yeah, you can barely read her answers there. And it says she barely passed. So is this going to be, okay, well, you're so elegant, though. We're going to let you in, or we're going to interview you. And if you can just be very, very elegant, even though you don't know anything here, we're going to let you in. This is really, really bizarre, but kind of funny funny at the same time.
父親は再婚か入学目的の即席家族でしょうか
An impromptu family. Okay, so I'm not sure what he's talking about here, but I suspect I have heard of in Japan where they will pay someone to pretend to be someone's father, someone's parent, or someone's family member for some ceremony or some other purpose. And he refers to them, maybe they're an impromptu family. In other words, okay, maybe they're just pretending to be a family so that they can look perfect so that we'll accept them into the school. I think that's what he means by that. That's pretty funny.
真のエレガンスを持ち合わせたものかどうかを
Through elegance.
A12 ですね。こちらの第2会場へどうぞ。
早速ふるいにかけられたか。
計212ですね。第1会場へどうぞ。
まだ監視がいる。油断するな。
Okay.
見られてると思うと緊張します。
愛に鼻くそほじりたい。
絶対ダメ。
うっかりドブにはまって抜け出せなくなってしまう。
I guess he's not getting in. And this would be kind of nerve-wracking to me too. I don't know if is it really worth it? That's my question.
からさますぎるだろ。やばいやつと思われてるのか。誰一人近づかん。だが、試験の一環ならクリアすれば。
They're thinking that they're testing them so much that this kid isn't even really stuck and that they're just testing them to see how they'll respond to this, whatever it is. That's kind of crazy.
父、母、困ってる人がいるます。助けます。
大丈夫かい
Uh-oh.
これも大のため、大のため。
さあどうやって
Elegantly.
エレガントに切り抜
怪我はないかい
ハンカチあげるます。
念のため医務室で見てもらえ。
All right, so I'm wondering how this guy's going to react because his whole thing is elegance. It's elegant, it has to be elegant, which I don't understand, but okay, whatever. And he gets this kid out of this sludge and gets it on him. Let's see what happens now.
期待外れだ所詮はただの田舎者だったか泥にまみれた格好で我が学び屋に入れると思うなよ計212番をつまみ出せ
この人たちは僕のせいで不合格に。ごめんなさい。
そんなこともあろうかと着替え意識持参しておいてよかったですね。
There you go.
こんなこともあろうかと思わんで
This guy's reactions is so crazy. Just them changing clothes sent him into this. Who in the world would ever anticipate that? And he's all these sound effects. This is really over the top.
ショフス
やはりこちらのグレーの方がこの学校にも似合ってますね。
田舎者だと恥をかくところだった。
Okay.
着替える機会を与えてくれて礼を言うよ少年。
天地祭少年へのフォロースマートエレガントマスターお子さんの試験ですよ化けの皮剥いてくれる大変だ飼育舎から動物たちが逃げ
Oh
出した
man.
そこまでするか。いい電光。
And they haven't even made it to the school yet. I thought this was going to be an interview. I don't know if they're ever going to make it. So after all that, then there's a stampede of animals coming toward them. Some other test, I guess. I mean, it's all about elegance. This is just crazy, but let's see what happens here.
非常時に出る本性を見るつもりか。パニックになれば試験官の思うつぼ。
フォーメーション D を崩すなよ
Formation
動物
D.
たちも破壊心で臨むんだ。
誰だあそこまでやれと言ったのはマスターでは
Oh.
まさかこれは本物のハプニング受験生の中にはお依頼さんもいるんだぞ怪我させる前に止めてこい私は財務省の事務次官だぞ知るか私は中央銀行の取締
All right, so you've got these important people running away and they're afraid they'll get hurt because apparently they released all these animals as some sort of twisted test and now they're really out of control. And I still just laugh like they're doing all these things to test these people in ways that aren't academic at all. And it's all about elegance and they're just throwing all these weird tests at them. It's really strange.
よくやったお前
ロイドさん、アーニャさんがまた。
群衆のパニックに当てられたか。もはやテストどころじゃないぞ。あいつがおそらく群れのボス。銃を使うしか。
His gun.
いや、夜さ。
Okay. What? Okay, so I don't know anything about these characters, and I thought this guy, he said something about using his gun, but he said something about using a weapon there, and she turns around and with the two fingers or whatever it was, stops this great big old bull or whatever it is in its tracks just by hitting it twice with her fingers, and it's just out on the ground. Okay.
いや、違うんです。昔ヨガ教室で動きを止める飛行を学んだことがありまして、牛さんにも効くかなと思って。引かないでください。
牛さん、怖がってる？
危ないぞ、アーニャ。
大丈夫ます。怖くない。
何やって。
Are they ever gonna make it to the school?
みんなお家帰った。
みたいだな。幸い怪我人も出なくてよかった。
What is he doing? That's the craziest housemaster I've ever seen. Look at this guy. Oh man, what's he gonna do now?
ハウスマスター。
One of
試
them.
験の監督役か。
助かった。礼を言う。そして、今日のところは乾杯だ。混乱の収集のため、面接試験は開始時刻を遅らせることにする。お前たちは我が校に挑むだけの資格がある。
先生、お気遣い痛み入ります。ですが、こんなこともあろうかと。もう一着備えてありますので。
かもうエレガントっていうか、怖いこの人たち。
無事、面接本番。
Okay, finally. I didn't think that'd ever get there. They had the whole thing with paying homage to the statue, getting the kid out, changing clothes, stopping a stampede, changing clothes again, and now we have the actual interview. I can't wait to see what they ask them. Is it even going to be anything academic, or is it going to be all about elegance? I guess we'll see.
そんなことも知らずに、うちを受験しようとしてたのかい？
Poor kid.
ありがとうございました。お前なんだあの答えは。
Poor kid.
スパイ歴十数年、緊張している。極悪テロ組織への潜入工作の
An
時、
evil terrorist group.
大型ミサイルを止めた時でさえ、他人へ成否を委ねることの恐怖。
次の方、フォージャー様。
はい。間違いなくここが、オペレーションストリクス最大の正念場。
Operation Strix.
来たか、フォージャー。
この情報戦、フォージャー家が制してみせる。
ご両親への質問から始めさせていただきます。
第5両、マルカムのハウスマスター。
All right, yeah, I guess there's different house masters. So I guess I was wrong. I don't know what kind of system this is, but they're not that other guy was not the headmaster, like in charge of the whole school. I guess there are various house masters, which are some lower tier of leadership within the school.
温厚、実直、保守的、生徒からの信頼も厚い。誠実な態度で常識的な答えを返せば、加点は固いと見た。
Okay, so they're like analyzing each panel member of this interview, and I guess they're going to tailor the style of their answers based on the person interviewing them. Typically, I don't know what system they're using of scoring, but generally in an interview, you're going to just get a group consensus, and everybody is going to score every question, regardless of who's asking the questions, but they may be using some sort of different system here.
お二人は再婚だそうですが、どういったご関係だったので？
いきなり踏み込んだ質問だな。家柄重視のイーデンならではか。妻とは貴公の制服も請け負っている仕立て屋で出会いました。彼女の凛とした立ち振る舞いに惹かれまして、僕は繊細との死別以来、娘のこともあって慎重になっていましたが、会話を重ねるうちに意気投合しました。娘ともうまくやっていけると考えました。
奥様の方は？
ロイドさんは子供思いの素敵な方です。私のことも気遣っていただいてますし。
良好なご家庭のよう。
奥さん綺麗なのになんでわざわざこぶつきなんか選んだんだい？はしたないですぞ、スワン先生。
クラインのハウスマスター。先代ヘッドマスターの一人息子で。
Yeah, they mentioned that he's the only son of the former headmaster. So like I told you, a lot of private schools, they'll have a headmaster, which is basically like the principal, just a different title. So his father was the former headmaster here. Very different personality than this other guy.
娘の親権も失ったばかり。
Not good.
今までの面接内容を聞く限り。
Okay, yeah. So I noticed him holding his ear earlier. So he bugged this room somehow and listened to the previous interview so he could get a sense of the various personalities in the room and hear the questions, which is cheating. I mean, he cheated. And if they knew about this, they probably would just end it and not allow her to enter. But let's see.
こいつは刺激しない方が得策だな。
では次の質問を、本校を志望した理由を。
それは一重に標的デズモンドに近づくためにおられる先生方のレベルの高さにつきます。質のいい知識、教養はもとより至るまで広くご教授くださるのは。
How to be an elite, he says. So he's appealing to their vanity and to their feeling of superiority, which they very clearly have. This is just sort of a caricature of the stuck-up, arrogant private school, which is not really fair. You know, there's plenty of private schools that aren't like this, but this is the image that they sometimes get. Mr. Elegant.
長所、短所、それぞれお聞かせください。
アーニャはとても好奇心旺盛な子です。短所とも言えますが、とても賢い子です。
賢いこれが
時折こちらの心を見透かしたような言動を見せるのでドキッとさせられます。短所は少し偏食なところでしょうか。
ではお母様なりの教育方針など。
練習通りに。私はご存知の通り、この子の実母ではありません。
料理は主に僕が作っています。もちろん忙しい時などは妻が作ってくれることもありますよ。まだ一度もないけど。
嘘。飯作らない嫁とか存在するの？
人には得て増えてがあります。子供の世話に関しても申し分ないです。
いや、まあそれどっちも女がやって当たり前のやつだし。
いいんです、ロイドさん。
落ち着け。
腹をつきまくってボロ出させてやるわ。
来た。
まずはお名前と住所言えるかな？
アーニャ・ホージャーです。住所はバーリントン西区公園通り128です。
お休みの日はどんなことをしてますか？
美術館行ったり、オペラ食べたり。
よしよし。順調に想定内の質問だ。
Eat operas. I don't know about that, but they're asking her very basic questions, and they probably just want to test her ability to interact. And she's very, very young. I don't know how old she's supposed to be. Probably, I don't know, 5, 6. But they're asking her questions just to see what her abilities are like to respond and how complex and what kind of answer she can give. How complex information can she really articulate? Which, yeah, that's just to sort of test some of your skills and your ability to speak and understand.
学校に入ったら何がしたいですか？
なんだっけ。
俺の場合、まずは懇親会に参加し、敵組織とそのトップ、デズモンドの計画の全容を暴きます。
組織のボスの秘密を暴きたいです。
何言ってるのおい
組織のボス、校長先生のことかな？
すみません。娘は向上心が人一倍でして、トップまで上り詰めた校長先生に興味津々なのです。
なかなかにエレガント。
Elegant.
では、その校長の名前は言えるかな？
Yeah, and here he's called the principal. Yeah, headmaster, principal. It's essentially the same thing. I still think it's so funny. He thinks elegance is the most important thing in the world here as far as making a decision about this family. I still don't understand that, but okay.
そう、ベネディクト・アイバン・グッドフェラー。
ベネディクト・アバン・グッドヘラーさん。
Yeah, and I gather through watching this that they can somehow communicate sort of telepathically, whatever, between each other. And I think I noticed them doing some of that when they were walking in, they had rehearsed themselves coming into the school because they're being watched and they were kind of sort of talking to each other. I'm guessing that's the case.
では、彼のように大成するためにはどんな努力が必要と思うかね？
体一つでジャングルを生き抜いたり、死と隣り合わせのテストを繰り返して精神を鍛えます。
それは昨日スパイアニメで主人公がやってた特訓な。
なんという覚悟。このお嬢さんを少々見くびっていたようだ。
じゃあ話題を変えて、お父さんのお仕事は何ですか？
素晴らしい心のお医者さんです。
花が詰まってるのかな？それじゃあ新しいお母さんはどんな人ですか？
とっても優しいです。でもたまにおっかないです。
お父さんお母さんに点数をつけるとしたら何点かな？
100点満点です。父も母も面白くて大好きです。ずっと一緒がいいです。
Sweet.
だからそういうのいらねえっつうの。 じゃあ今のままと前のままどっちが高得点だ？
Bad news.
質問の変更をお願いします。
ダメだ。答えなきゃ減点だ。
That's horrible.
個人にいた経緯はわからんが、こいつの実の親はおそらくも
Poor kid.
う、おにゃ。
そうかそうか。やはり前のママがいいか。
あんまりです。
夜さん落ち着いて。
だってこんな。
任務のためには我慢だ。
うちは親元を離れた寮生も大勢いる。些細なことでいちいちベソ書いてたら。
所詮まがい者の家族。
些細なことです。
なんということもない。
なんだい5歳さん。前菜に負けたからって噛みつくなよ。よし。
我慢だ。
Oh.
黄昏。失礼。
Oh.
伺いましたもので。本日は
Oh man. Yeah, so I'm like, what happened? Surely he didn't punch him, but he destroyed this table with one punch. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, there was a mosquito there. Thank you very much for your time today. Ooh, that's one way to end a meeting.
おい、どこへ？まだ終わってないぞ。
子供の気持ちを軽んじるのが貴校の教育理念なのでしたら、選ぶ学校を間違えました。
Wow.
貴様、我が子を侮辱するか。
おいで、二人とも失礼します。
二度とうちの門をくぐれると思うな。
This guy's horrible. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I listened to his description of him earlier. Yeah, I can see that now.
度が過ぎますぞ、スワン先生。私のやり方にご不満でも、先代とはいえ、父の影響力はまだまだ健在。父には気をつけた方がよろしいかと。早く次のやつを呼び。
誇り高きイーデンの先生方を置いて、他にないと考えております。
ただただ権力にへつらうだけのわしに、我が子を侮辱したのはどっちだ？
Oh, okay. So he kind of thought to himself, who am I if all I'm doing is currying favor? In other words, I need to do the right thing. And I thought he was going to say, you shouldn't have said that to her. You were too harsh. Instead, he just punches him in the face. So it's just tough for me to imagine. Yeah. And obviously you can't do that. This guy would be fired and probably charged, but I assume none of that's going to happen. But I didn't see that one coming.
我ながらエレガント。
Elegant.
これで堂々とイーデンの教師として向き合えるかね。フォージャーよ。
I guess he's going to let him in?
絶対落ちた。
Maybe.
お茶でも入れますね。
またもスパイ失格だ。任務にいらん感情を持ち込んでしまった。
父、ごめんなさい。アーニャ、テスト頑張れなくて。
なんてない。あんな学校行きたくないだろ。
のが失敗に終わっちゃう。メガネのおっさんも半分メガネのおっさんもいい人だった。
そうです、そうです。彼らがフォローしてくれますよ。信じましょう。
常に最悪のケースを。
家族写真が落ちました。
落ちた。
任務の成否やいかに。争い合って壊れかかったこの
All right, so that was the episode. I don't know really what to think about it, to tell you the truth, but it was pretty entertaining, not at all relatable to real school life in any way, but it was very, very entertaining. I gather that, number one, this is not their real family. I guess that's the origin of the name Spy Family, because they're a spy family, because they're spies, because they kept talking about their mission and they're trying to get into school to get close to a particular person that goes to the school or works there. And so that's what this is all about. And they can communicate somewhat telepathically, but they had this whole interview to try and give just the right answers to these questions. And this one guy, this one interview panel member kept messing it up, but then they ended up getting in anyway because of their answers and because they were so elegant. That whole beginning part was just kind of crazy, but it did make me laugh a lot. So I did enjoy that one. If you'd like me to continue the series, I do have 3 or 4 other episodes that were suggested by viewers. So thank you very much. Let me know if you think I should do some other ones, whether or not you enjoyed this video or not. If you did, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And I'll see you next time on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.